Did anybody else enjoy this episode of Masamune-Kun? Because I did. I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought this episode was going to be cliche as fuck. Crunchyroll posted this out on Twitter that we're gonna have a beach episode of Masamune-Kun this week, and I was like, oh no. Another beach episode, especially when, you know, this series is like a harem. I was like, oh no. But as I watched the episode, not a whole lot was focused on the fan service. Actually, there was very, very little that actually had fan service. I think the only time where we actually, you know, see the fan service actually take place is when the girls are all in swimsuits. And that's basically it. Not a lot of focus. But in all seriousness, we have it to where in this episode we see Masamune and the gang, including Aragaki, end up going to this beach resort that is owned by Aragaki's father, and Aragaki's father's secretary is basically taking care of this beach resort. So we eventually, you know, see everyone chilling at the beach, they're going in the water, just playing around, and of course Masamune at this given point in time, you know, is pretending to be in a relationship with Aragaki. Obviously, they are not. And the secretary knows that something is up, and we get a little bit of backstory regarding the secretary. We see that she ends up seeing Aragaki crying one day and says, "Yo, what's wrong?" And Aragaki is saying, "The round boy, my friend, you know, is already gone. I don't need anyone like him," and storms off away from the secretary. And ever since that day, technically, Aragaki has developed this sort of hatred to men in general. She thinks that, you know, they are pigs, so to speak, and that's where probably, you know, she developed the name Pig's Foot for Masamune. So the secretary is in support of all this. Ever since, you know, what happened to Aragaki hating men, she has been completely supported by this. And the reason why I think she supports this, that in the past, we saw her on the phone with someone, I think it was named Midori. Maybe that was, you know, her boyfriend at the time. I really do not know. But it seems also she developed some sort of hatred when it comes to men in general. And that is why, you know, she was really supportive of Aragaki, and also why she was suspecting Masamune and trying to, you know, get him out of the picture when it comes to Aragaki and his relationship. Now, here's the part of the episode that I really, really enjoyed. It was when Masamune and the gang ended up taking this test of courage on the beach. And I think really I've seen this in a couple of anime before. I think most notably, I could be wrong on this, but The Adventures of Haruhi Suzumiya, I believe that series also had the same sort of scene where everyone was at the beach and they eventually took this test of courage. So in a way, we kind of have already seen this type of cliche from anime, but how it delivered, like, I really think it was a funny part of the episode. So everyone ends up going to this haunted house, or, you know, a abandoned shelter, and goes in one by one by one. And Masamune has this grand idea that after Aragaki goes in and gets scared in this abandoned shelter, that he will jump to the scene, and this is where Aragaki will fall in love with him to, you know, rescue the damsel in distress, so to speak. Yoshino is the first one to go in, and she ends up finding out that the secretary is taking place in this haunted house, and she has a mask on, but so does Yoshino. She has a Jason mask on, and she actually has the chainsaw along with her, and of course this freaks out the secretary. She storms out of the haunted shelter, or the abandoned place, and this is where it just gets worse from here on out. Yoshino is chasing the secretary with a chainsaw, and as Yoshino is chasing the secretary with a chainsaw, she ends up coming across Aragaki. Aragaki gets scared of the secretary wearing the mask, and the secretary obviously got scared of Aragaki because she just came out of nowhere. And Aragaki is obviously, you know, on the floor, scared completely, you know, just in distraught. And then Masamune comes in, and he's like, yo, who the hell are you? You know, wearing the mask, you know? And you see Yoshino just with the chainsaw in the background, and the secretary's like, everyone run! We're all gonna get killed! As the secretary is running away, you know, just darting it, she ends up coming across the two other friends of Masamune who are in his class, and obviously she is getting scared by this. She ends up making her way out of this, you know, abandoned shelter, and is like, yo, is this a dream? This has to be a dream where everyone gets murdered. I'm okay, this is just a dream. And then she ends up coming across Neko, who scares her even more, because knowing Neko, you know, you just see this blood drip from her mouth, and obviously it's not blood. She used the old ketchup method again. And then, of course, the secretary ends up hitting her head on a pole and passes out. And directly after that, Masamune tells the secretary that him and Aragaki are not really in a relationship. And that's basically where the episode ends up. Everyone leaves off the island, and I really did think that this was a pretty good episode. It was funny. It definitely entertained me. I got a few chuckles out of it. I mean, depending on your form of comedy, I mean, comedy is subjective, obviously, so maybe not, it was probably not that funny to you, but I got a few chuckles out of it. I thought it was kind of entertaining. But yeah, the highlight of the episode was definitely the haunted shelter. And what I'm glad that this episode really didn't do was focus on the fan service, you know? There was little to no fan service in this episode. I really did think this was gonna be a completely cliche episode, but it turns out it wasn't. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments down below as to what you thought about this episode of Masamune-Kun, as well as how do you think I could do better when it comes to my reviews. Definitely let me know your honest opinion on this, because I'm trying my very best to be a lot better when it comes to my overall reviews, so definitely let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel and you want to stay updated to my future content on this channel and never miss a video from me, definitely hit that red subscribe button down below, and you will never miss a video. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.